Jose Ramos attacked Luis Sanchez from behind. Now, when I say that, that's not argument. That's not what a witness is going to come in and testify to. That's what was captured on surveillance footage at the homeless shelter on Worthington Street. It's on video, and you're going to see that happen for yourselves. When you see that video, you will also hear from witnesses that Jose Ramos had a lime green knife with him when he jumped Luis Sanchez from behind. You'll hear witnesses testify that they saw that knife in Mr. Ramos's right hand as he walked away after having made several uppercutting motions to the body of Luis Sanchez. You will hear that Mr. Ramos, well, you will also hear that he dropped that knife right in front of a police officer. You'll hear that's the only knife that was found on scene. You will also hear detectives that searched Mr. Ramos at the end of, after his arrest, found a matching lime green knife sheath in his jacket pocket.
What is in dispute in this case is what led up to Jose Ramos stabbing Luis Sanchez. You're going to hear evidence in this case that these two individuals got into an altercation inside of the Friends of the Homeless Shelter. Mr. Ramos went up to the office of the shelter to try and get someone to help him because he was being harassed by Luis Sanchez. He could not get anyone to help him at that point in time. And the two individuals, Mr. Ramos and Mr. Sanchez, then went outside to have a fist fight. And when they went outside, they had to get off of the ground because of his paring knife. And he then fought back against the attack of Mr. Sanchez with the paring knife. And he did in fact stab Mr. Sanchez 4 times, as you just heard. The video that was just described to you, where Mr. Bennett described a lunging motion, you're going to hear testimony, I expect you're going to hear testimony, that there were no weapons involved in this altercation until Mr. Sanchez produced the screwdriver and started